Chapter 4, The Tissue Level of Organization, Part 1. Today we will talk about tissues. Tissues are groups of cells similar in structure and function, like plenty of muscle cells sitting together and contracting perform a function of movement. There are 4 types of tissues: epithelial, connective, muscle, and nerve tissues. When we study our tissues under the microscope, it's called histology. Histology is also a science about tissues. When a doctor removes a sample of tissue from a patient, literally sometimes just pinching a small piece of tissue during surgery or through the needle, usually to diagnose diseases, for example cancer, it's called biopsy. When the same examination is performed on a dead body, a piece of tissue is taken for examination, for example to find a cause of death, it's called autopsy. Those 4 types of tissues. Let's start from the nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is responsible for internal communication between organs and structures. Electrical signals from brain go to the organs and back through the spinal cord and through the peripheral nerves. Our muscle tissues contract to cause movement. There are muscles attached to bones. They are skeletal muscles and they allow us to walk and do work. There are muscles inside of the heart. They are called cardiac muscles, and our heart pumps to move the blood through the body. There are also muscles in the walls of hollow organs, for example stomach, and when they contract, they help digestion. They are called smooth muscles. Next one, epithelial tissues are lining and forming boundaries between different environments. They also work for secretion, absorption, and filtering. Example would be skin surface. Epidermis layer covers our body from the outside. Or inside, those would be epithelial tissues lining our gastrointestinal tract organs from the inside, like linings of our small intestine, large intestine, esophagus, stomach. And finally, all other tissues in the body that are not nervous, muscle, or epithelial are called connective tissues. They are working to support, protect, and bind other tissues together. Examples would be our bones, tendons, ligaments, fat or adipose tissue, and so on. There are also tissue membranes. Those are layers of cells that covers either body or outside of the body, like skin, or organs. For example, pericardium. Remember that double membrane surrounding the heart. Or sometimes tissue membrane makes internal passageways, like abdominal mesenteries. We'll talk about that later. Or lining of the joint cavities in our movable joints. They are called synovial membranes. Okay, let's start from epithelial membranes. All the body cavities open to the exterior are lined with mucous membranes, and they are called mucous because they are usually covered with mucus. So that would be mouth or oral cavity, nose or nasal cavity, vagina, anus, all of those covered with mucous membranes. Next one, serous membranes are lining our body cavities that are close to the environment, like pleura for the lungs, pericardium for the heart, peritoneum in our abdominal cavity. Each of those membranes is made of 2 layers. Parietal layer that lines body walls, and visceral membranes that covers the organ itself. For example, pericardium surrounding the heart has 2 layers. Visceral pericardium covers the heart itself, and parietal pericardium is covering the space surrounding the heart. Next, on cutaneous membrane, it's just another name for the skin. Please look at these pictures and decide which of those membranes would be mucous or cutaneous or another type.